The energy at this time seems to be one of just sitting still. Sitting still, realizing that this is a time of quality over quantity. The full moon's in Taurus this November, and a lot of the conversation going around and that I've been having is about just, sitting still, balancing out yourself in a masculine, feminine sense. And the moon represents more of a feminine side of ourselves, like sitting still, self-love, self-care, and getting in touch with your emotions and your surroundings. And that's sort of the energy that I have to realize in these moments to shift towards, because I get in these moments of go, 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 business, create, finances, generate income, opportunity, things of that nature, and things change, things shift energetically and spiritually, and vibrationally, in Earth and the universe, and I find myself at times like scratching my head, like, what's going on here? I'm a slow learner sometimes, and it takes me a moment to stop and realize, or get out of myself and sit real still and reflect upon what am I being told energetically. I have to look outside myself. A lot of things in the zodiac explain this stuff, tarot readings, prayer, meditation, things of that nature are always trying to tell us a message. And they all usually align once we sort of awaken to the idea. I'm a slow learner, I had to hear it a couple times the past few days to check back in and to get back into that space of sitting still and just allowing things to happen. I come off a vacation a few months ago, and some things were going on out of my control, and the very first question I asked myself was, what am I supposed to be doing? Instead of going into a mode of self-sabotage or self-destruct out of fear of financial insecurity, which is our security instinct, my social instinct, how am I going to talk to people about this thing, my inbox is blowing up and things that I'm powerless over. And it started to affect me, so thank God that I have some tools to sort of pull out of the toolbox and realize, like spot check inventory, what am I supposed to be doing? Checking in back in with God, getting back on God's path, because chances are, if I'm asking myself those questions, more than likely somewhere along the way, I've gotten off the path a little bit, and sort of running off of self-will or survival instincts versus allowing things to happen and accepting them for what they are. So it was a relief, to hear that. Sort of got permission from spiritual leaders and teachers and people that are very claircognizant and clairvoyant and in tune with what's going on energetically in our surroundings. And sometimes, we have to allow other people to give us permission, or we have to give ourselves permission to sit still. Today's world is kind of geared towards go, 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 reach the top. And, we get caught up in those things, in those moments at times. So it's a relief to sit still, even for a moment. It's not about constantly doing something or constantly grinding it out to be successful or to pay your light bill or whatever it may be. It's more so about sitting still and seeing when the opportunities arise. So you kind of store up your energy and you're aware and spiritually fit, and then you're able to take advantage of the opportunity, or you're able to see the opportunity that's being presented to you by grace. And then we can act upon it. Then we're not so spiritually drained or energetically drained. You know, we're clear-minded, and we can see the opportunities for what it is, versus grinding it out and sort of being stuck and not being able to see the shift energetically or spiritually. And you know, in those moments we sort of get left behind, you know, if we don't recover from them. That's what today's video is about, is sitting still, you know, taking a deep breath, going inward, allowing things to happen around you, and releasing some of that control. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I said, you know, I feel like I have this gap or this hole, or something's missing. And I've been thinking about that for a couple weeks. And I woke up today and I realized, yeah, there is a lot of things missing, because I surrendered a lot of things over the past month or two. I've done a lot of work, but it takes a second for me to realize what the work that I put in that created that space. My brain immediately says something's wrong. Why don't I feel complete? And once I start doing the work, I see the other side of it. I see that it's the result of the work that I put in that has created the space. And some of those, you know, when you're caught up in the moment for so long, or you're grinding it out for so long, and throughout periods of time, or even a few months, it doesn't take long to get wore out or wore down spiritually, and you have to go back and fill the cup, you know. But upon awakening this morning, I realized it was this space that I've created, and I surrendered a lot of things, especially things that are out of my control. A lot of it having to do with my main source of income, or my first business, and you know, it's doing just fine. It's been running organically for years, but I didn't realize how perplexed I was and how much it affected my social instinct, my security instinct. Even in good times, sort of perplexed. You know, is it gonna work? You know, a lot of fear-driven ideas and ambitions. And it feels good. It feels good to finally surrender those things for the meantime. You know, I'm sure Alan will walk past them one day and pick them back up, and you know, take off running with them, thinking he knows something. But for today, it feels good to sit still and to know that when I do the work, I get results faster. When I allow things to happen, my life immediately gets better spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, consciously.